Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another stupendous episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. In the second quarter, we have that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a man who is medieval made, snake man trained. He is actually a former RPW tag team champion, and he recently made his AEW debut against former Ring of Honor world champion Jay Lethal, and he's also known to the ladies as Night Bay. Brother, if I ever see you in the club and I'm going in there with my girl, we going to another club. I know I'm gonna leave a single man if I go in there. But with that being said, everybody, welcome to the show, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan.
Woo! Huzzah, huzzah. Hello, hello.
Sir Merrik, I just got to say, first off, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule just to, appear on our show and, to shoot the breeze about, your career and pro wrestling and your journeys and whatnot. And I got to say, man, you're definitely, making moves and, pretty much making a name for yourself. But before we go into all that, man, how you doing today?
I'm good. Finally have a day off, so I'm enjoying that. So,
trust me, I know how it is. Today is actually my Friday.
Okay.
I got tomorrow off, and then afterwards, I don't get another day off until Saturday. So yeah, my work schedule is kind of crazy, but hey, I'm grateful to be employed. But yeah, man. You've been on our radar for a while. I remember I saw it was one of your former tag team partners, brief tag team partners, a guy by the name of the Space Cowboy, Stacy Alexander.
Yes.
And he had a clip of a tag team match with y'all. And I was like, when I saw the clip, I was like, wait a minute, is this brother a knight? Like, that's a really good. And being in the Black community, we've pretty much, for the last, couple of decades had to be in that, oh, he's Black, he's aggressive, he has to be thugging and bugging, or he has to come out as a rapper, or he has to be dancing. And, there weren't really like other gimmicks, or not gimmicks, but other like images for us to be in, to portray on a in a bigger light, for lack of a better adjective.
Right.
And when I saw it, I was like, yo, we gotta get this guy on our show. We gotta find out what this guy's story is, because honestly, to my knowledge, I've only seen two other people that had a medieval like gimmick, and that was King Mabel, R.I.P.
Right. Of course.
Also, well, there's King Mabel and then there was Sir Mo. And of course now Xavier Woods.
Right.
But that was due to the fact that they won King of the Ring. But you came fresh off bat.
Right.
Sir Knight. So I gotta say kudos to that brother, and just thank you for actually repping us, in a different I'd like to say gimmick, but in a different image,
Of course. Like you said, like we're always deemed as some like aggressive person or something funny. So we're either like the joke or we're just like the mean person that beats up everybody. And I was just like, I don't want to be that. I want to be something different or something that's like the mix of the two. So like I'm just like something that everybody can relate to. So one thing really is I work at Medieval Times. If you've ever been there or ever heard of it, it's a medieval dinner theater show. And one thing I used to hear is like, there's no such thing as black knights. There's no such thing as black knights. I was like, there has to be something. Like, there's too much going on to where there's no black knights. So I did my own research and different things, and I found out about the Moorish Empire, and then I found out more about the African Berber tribe, which is actually a tribe of Africans that went up into like the Moorish Empire, and they helped fight with them. So just all of that information is like, there's such things. So I'm educating people about just the facts that there are black knights and there is a history of black medieval knights, and we need to just educate ourselves. I know also just with the round table, I'm not completely sure who it is, but the knight with the M name, I think it's Mordred or one of them around that area. He actually was a black knight. Like they say, like they think it's just his armor was black, but no, he himself was black. And so just people don't know that. So I'm just finding ways to like educate people and show things that like it's different than that one actor with the long hair and stuff. He's the only knight that like, no, there's knights that with afros, no afro, stuff like that. So we just need to educate ourselves and just help each other and just be different and just the average quo all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I actually thank you for that, because I didn't even know there was a Black Knight,
Mm-hmm.
possibly a Black Knight of the Round Table. And I always say that sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times it's, education and research is always good, because case in point, when I was younger, of course I grew up in my country, Guyana, and we listened to hip hop, reggae, and R&B.
Right.
I was the one guy out of the group, the one black guy out of the group that would listen to rock, you know, especially 80s rock. And sometimes I'd feel so ashamed to like play it around like my friends, because they'd be like, dude, what do you listen to? What is this? Like, no, I'm change it to some reggae, some Buju Banton or some, Boys to Men or something. And I'd feel like so ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was listening to this old TV show. Rob, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you listened to it either, because you and I are pretty much from the same era. I'm sorry to put you out there, but there was a radio show called Rick D's Weekly Top 40. And there was a guy called Lenny Kravitz who actually had the song. And this is my first time hearing about him. And this was circa 1999. And this is when Fly Away came out. And I was like, yo, this sounds cool, man. I like this song. And then Rick Dees had a way of giving the background of each of those singers. And he's mentioned that Lenny Kravitz's mom was Roxy Roker, aka Helen Willis from the Jeffersons. So I'm like, wait a minute. Helen Willis is black. Roxy Roker is black. So you're trying to tell me that. So you're telling me that, wait, Lenny Kravitz is black. So I don't have no reason to be ashamed anymore, because I got a brother that's playing the music and I'm listening to it.
Right.
And then 6 years later, I remember I was in a library in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I remembered that I was looking into like it was a Black history book about first done by people in the Black community and so on. And I read that some of the first rock recordings were done by a group of Black people. So I was like, wow, I guess I was pretty much in my own ignorance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
now I no longer have to be ashamed of what I like and what I'm into. So I just gotta say, man, thank you for that bit of knowledge you gave us, man. I'm definitely more like interested in looking into like the round table and so on.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. So I take it you were a fan of like the medieval tales, medieval stories, stuff from around that era.
Actually, I was not. So when I moved down here to Florida, I'm from Virginia originally. When I moved down to Florida, I needed a job, and my trainer's grandson used to work at Medieval Times, and he was like, "Oh, hey, like you need a job? Here's a job." And so that was the first time I've ever even heard of that place. I've ever been around it. I knew nothing of it as soon as I walked in to like do an application. So when I finally did the application and like I sat down because you get one free show to see what you're doing, like what job you're going into. So I'm just sitting there like eating and like watching the show, and I'm like, what is this? I've never seen anything because I'm from like just small town America, and so it was really interesting to see. And I'm still working my way into like knowledge about medieval stuff, and like I've still never played D&D before, and apparently like everybody at my job plays D&D, and I'm just like, okay, I don't have time. So, but it's an interesting, culture, and it's war, but it's war in the sense of like honor and glory. They had a different code, a different honor code, and instead of just like just doing it just to do it, they'll do it just for a reasoning, or for a rhyme or reason, basically. So it was very respectful, and just it's cool, and it's different. So I'm open to it, but I haven't done too much with it. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the medieval stuff is very cool from what I see. I've grown up, I was more into like Greek mythology and Roman mythology,
Right.
constantly like the god of this, the goddess of that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I was more into that stuff.
Hmm.
So the rest of so with professional wrestling now, man. So every pretty much I always ask almost every one of our fans this. What was the what was the moment? What was the pay-per-view? What was the match? Or what was the moment where you saw that one relative watching professional wrestling that got you curious and made you become a fan?
So it's hard for me because my mother actually did not want me watching wrestling. Um, my earliest memory of wrestling was it was Booker T and Goldust, and I guess they were like a tag team. And I think like the week before, because it was a recap, Goldust got hit with like the what's it called, the electric box, and like the sparks and stuff hit him, and like he was out of action. After that, the next memory I had was John Cena doing a rap battle with Big Show, and they also saw the rap battle with him and Kurt Angle. So like that really interests me because I was like, oh, this is different. This is really cool. But what really stuck with me and what really kept me going into wrestling was TNA and Jeff Hardy and Monty Brown. Like I really got into TNA. I think it was like 2005. Um, we actually didn't have like the network that it was on at the time, so I would like get out of school and I'll go to my aunt's house just so that I was able to like watch TNA on a weekly basis. And it was just it was different, I guess, because I still really wasn't watching WWE in that time period, but like just to watch like the TNA and like how they would do stuff, and you have people that were just bigger than life, like just something about Jeff at that time period. He just captures you, and just Monty Brown, he captured you in as well, and like Abyss, like all of that at that time was just really good. Like I even remember like the first. Wrestling, video or like tape I ever bought was Genesis 2005. So like that, just I was always attracted to just the smaller, different alternative versus the main distributor at the time. So like I would say definitely like something in TNA really just caught my eye.
Who were some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching in TNA? Because I know that back then that's when TNA was wild, and they were showing like so many they were doing so many innovative moves that you wouldn't see in WWE or pretty much any other televised wrestling promotion. But
Right.
some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching in TNA.
So it would of course Jeff, because again like at that point like I I wouldn't say I was like a scene kid, but like I would say in a way I was like I wanted to be a scene kid, like that kid that just was out of the box. Nobody understood him, so I was like, oh, okay, that was me. Jeff, I really enjoyed Shark Boy, because again he was different, and Curry Man, when Curry Man was Curry, was when he was there for a while, that was really cool and interesting as well. Um, I don't know if I really gravitated to Monty, but like there was different things about Monty Brown that I did enjoy. Um, and I guess the last one, like Suicide, because I played the video game and like the video game was cool, and just to see that backstory of Suicide, and then for them to bring him alive as a character, that was just like really interesting to me. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I watched him, and like to see how they would do some of like the move sets from the video game into real life as well was just cool. Also, because it's like, okay, that made no sense, like because his finisher in the game was like a satellite around the world into code red, and I'm like, there's no way anybody could possibly do that. And I think they tried it once and it worked, but I'm trying to think of what else they did. Like they did something else, but then later on he went to the backflip, um, one-legged code breaker or something like that. But it was cooler, at the beginning, because they were trying to actually do it as his moveset from the game. But after a while, they kind of like, all right, we can't do this all the time. So, but it was cool. Like those Jeff, Monty, Shark Boy, Curry Man, all those guys were just really great at that time.
Yeah, that was to me that was like one of the best eras of Impact. I mean, of TNA. They're trying to
Hmm.
get back in right now, and I mean, not trying. They're doing pretty well right now. I mean, I know
Right.
they sort of, what I call the dark ages, where it was,
Hmm.
why are you guys doing this? You could be so much better, but why are you going? And I'm not gonna call names because I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm like, why are you bringing this person in? You don't need them. You have this person here that you're homegrown, that's homegrown.
Right.
Bring them up. Let that person go somewhere else. And I'm glad that they're actually getting over that and just looking at other places to get talent from. But
Hmm.
yeah, they're doing pretty well for themselves right now, in my opinion. So now that you're you're a fan of the sport, and you're tuning in every week and whatnot, cheering your favorites and booing the bad guys. How did your journey now go from wrestling fan to professional wrestler?
So for me, it was. I'm trying to think how this happened, but so I used to be a kid that used to go to the library all the time. I was in like this library group, and this guy, because right across from the library was our rec center, and this guy came over and he was like, "Hey, like you like wrestling?" And I don't, I really wasn't public about my wrestling, but and he was like, "You like wrestling? You should join the wrestling team in high school." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I think it was like sixth or seventh grade, and like I was gonna join my eighth grade year, but I was in drama class. But I was like, all right, I'm not gonna, I can't do drama and do wrestling. So I did drama for my eighth grade year, because I did seventh grade, so I did eighth grade as well. And then my ninth grade year, on through 12th grade, I did wrestling. And so I got pretty decent, pretty good with that. And then, I went off to college. I wanted to do wrestling in college, but I wasn't able to because my school didn't have it. And then I came back and I was a high school wrestling coach for 2 years. And with that, like, I was in a relationship at the time, and then we broke up, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I haven't done anything for myself. Like, I just, I want to do something. I want to do something. I don't know what to do. And just one day, like I'm just watching ROH. I was watching ROH at the time because it was easier to access because regular TV. I didn't have cable in my room, so I just watched regular TV. I knew when it was coming on, and just I will say what really ignited me to like really show my kick in my pants really was just watching Leo Rush after he won the top prospect tournament, and with Punisher Martinez, Damian Priest now, and other people. It's been a while, so I can't really remember everybody. um, and I was like, you know what? I love wrestling. Wrestling should go along with wrestling. I'm really gonna, I'm gonna go full out with wrestling. So I, started researching, started looking into schools. I thought about going to MCW in Maryland because, Leo, like, he's a larger inspiration for me for wrestling. And so I was like, you know what? I was about to go because, go to school, get my master's degree, and do that. But one of my friends that I know, who actually is known on Twitter as well, they were like, you should go to Devon school. So I ended up going to Devon school, and the rest is history. So yeah.
Yeah, Team 3D, they're definitely doing a lot of good things down there. A
Hmm.
lot of great things. You know what? I'm waiting for the company that's gonna sign. You probably met them. Team TNT, Terrence and Terrell, Devon's
Yes.
two. Those guys are amazing, and I'm waiting to hear either Derby signs Hall of Famers' sons.
Hmm.
TNT are now TNT are all elite, or heck, Impact Wrestling signs led to Hall of Impact Wrestling Hall of Famers sons. They're pretty awesome. I know that I know Devon was really proud of. Uh, Rob, what's the name of that? You probably know the referee. Her name is Jess, but I forgot what her last name is.
Jessica Carr.
Jessica Carr. Yes,
Yeah.
I know he's pretty. I know he's pretty much. I know he must be very proud of her, especially her working WrestleMania recently.
Hmm.
So I gotta say, so I saw your match, the one that you had against Freddie Hudson. That
Yes.
was a great match. You gentlemen put on a clinic. I was like, wow,
Thank
this
you.
was,
Thank you.
and I'm not saying this because you're in front of me. This was like watching a masterpiece. And one hilarious moment that I saw was when you gave the guy a backhand and he started spinning. I was
Hmm.
like, yo, that's serious. And then you end up getting the win. He missed the leg lariat, and you end up getting the win with the torch rack into, I guess you call it a tilt-a-whirl slam.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's supposed to. It's no. Yeah. It's supposed to. So, you know what? Everybody, uses the same moves. Like I said earlier, I like to be the alternative. So everybody does the same moves and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what? I have to do something different. I have to do something different. And so what I actually did was I was watching John Silver, and he does like an airplane spin into like some type of slam. It's been a while since I watched. Everybody uses the FU or the F5. So I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of inspiration from the F5, but then finally, like, I did the prototype bomb. Now, if anybody remembers who the prototype used to be, it was John Cena, and like that's gone. Like he doesn't even do that anymore. Like talking about. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put all these moves together and make something out of it. So I practiced it, and like it's called the Conquest. Because I'm sitting around, you're going everywhere, so it's like the Conquest. But it's in a sense, it's a spin out Uranagi bomb in a sense. So like that's technically what it is. A lot of people say tilt-a-whirl slam, all this stuff, but then whenever I have the opportunity, I'll educate them on what it actually is. Some people call it like the 3 seconds around the world or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's something completely different, I hope. So it's funny because uh, Jordan Grace actually does something really close to it. And I'm like, no, because I thought I made this up. But there's slight differences. I'm not completely sure what it is because it's been a while since I've seen her do it. But there's slight differences. It's not the same thing, but there's some differences.
Yeah, but that was a really awesome move that y'all did, and y'all definitely put on a match for grind for those who attended grind time wrestling.
Hmm.
I was very impressed, and I was
Thank
like,
you.
and when you said and when you said that you were you were a high school wrestling coach, I was like, I knew it. I knew you had some amateur wrestling background behind him. I just knew it.
Yeah.
So I just got two or three more questions. So my next question, that I have is, you made your AEW debut. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very happy when I saw that. You faced off against one of the best in the business, the best first generation wrestler, former Ring of Honor world champion,
Right.
Jay. What was going through your mind when you stepped into that ring against him? Were you nervous? Were you like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best. This man has toured all over the world, and I'm gonna face him tonight in a.
Hmm.
Or were you like, something? I've had enough training. Plus, I have an amateur wrestling background. I got this. I think I'll be all right. Or was it a mixture of both?
So one thing I tell a lot of people, so if you ever been to medieval times, um, it's a lot of people you're like performing for, even if they're for you or against you. And so at my most, I've done a show for like 12,000 people already. So, just to like, and with that, it's not just like it's you on a horse, it's you with another person, like it's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind. So, whenever I get to like to perform in front of others and like wrestle and like in a big crowd or stuff like that, I'm like, I'm used to it already. Like I'm set for it. So I'm just like, okay. So it really wasn't nerves, and I really wasn't nervous in a sense. I knew I was prepared. I know like I was ready for that step, not to be cocky or anything. I just something in me was like, you're good, you'll be fine. So, case in point, I pace in the back sometimes just before my matches, and Baron Black goes, "Hey man, like don't pace, don't be that nervous, you'll be fine." And it didn't really dawn on me, but like that was the first time I ever thought about it. I'm like, I'm not nervous. My knees just hurt, so I just need to warm up. And I'm getting old, and I can't jump around no more. So I was just warming up by pacing back and forth, and um, yeah, I was ready, and I was like anticipating everything, and I just was trying to like keep up and just do the best that I could. So there really wasn't any nerves, and it really wasn't any cockiness. It was more confidence in what I was trained and what I've done. Because there's one weekend I did 5 matches in one day, and like that prepared me too. So like I've been to the point where I'm just like, okay, I'm prepared for this. I'm ready for this. Like, just go out there, have fun, do what I have to do, and just don't regret anything. Just learn from it. So that's really where my mindset was throughout that whole match. So yeah, it was just easy, and not easy, but like it was. I was ready. I was prepared.
Cool, cool. Yeah, man. I was watching that match closely. I was like, wow, this guy. And it's funny how small how it's a small world. Like I just saw you on Instagram.
Hmm.
So just it's funny how small the wrestling world is what to be exact. When I just saw you on Instagram, and I was like, here you are on EW going toe to toe with Jay Lethal. That was awesome. So now that you've gotten to do that match, you and Steven faced off. Who are your top five opponents that you'd want to wrestle in the near future? They could be from anywhere: AEW, WWE, Impact, the Independents, MLW, anywhere.
Uh,
Well, not necessarily
that's
near future, but like hopefully like somewhere along in your career as well.
right. That's it's hard, but it's not hard. Of course, um, if he does come back and he's able to come back, I would like to wrestle Leo, because Leo Rush, because he, again, like I said, he is somebody that like I really do he pushed me in a sense to want to do this, and I just want to give back in that sense. I also, one person that I kind of forgot that was an inspiration and helped me push until this weekend was Michael Oku, which is the OJMO. If you ever watch Rev Pro or anything from the United Kingdom, he great dude. Um, I really loved his stuff in like 2017, and like I was like, I want to wrestle him. Um, Another person, Alex Kane. I enjoy Alex Kane. Like, he's a really good dude. Um, I actually trained at the WWA 4 for like a week, so like I really, I enjoy those guys. WWA 4 kids are like some of the best, out on the indies right now. Just hungry and driven guys. The last two are kind of difficult because it's I, I don't really have people that I really want to face. It's just I want to face any and everybody. I want to learn. I want to just get better every day. But there were 3 matches that I was supposed to have in January into February, but one, I got COVID, so I was unable to do 2 matches, and then another one was snowed out. So I guess I would, even though you said 5, there's 3 matches, so I'll just put those in. So like I want to face Big Beef Gnarls Garvin. That was one that was taken away from me. Calvin Tankman, that was another person that was taken away from me, and also the Big Bad Kaiju O'Shea Edwards. So like these are 3. Yeah, these are three matches that I was supposed to have, but they're all taken away from me. And it's like those are things that I want to, get back and like show people like I'm prepared for this. And like these are there is a reason why I was supposed to have these matches, and they're gonna happen. So like these are things that I want.
Woo,
Yeah,
man, Calvin Tankman,
yeah, Calvin
Big
Tankman.
Bad Kaiju. Let me tell
Yeah,
you something. If I ever face those two guys, I'll make sure I have some Bengay, some heating pads, because
yeah,
those two guys are, man. Oh, I just saw Big Bad Kaiju in a match with, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Dan Maff. He's a local
yeah.
in the Northeast.
Hmm.
When I tell you hard hitting, oh man. I was sitting in that crowd and I felt those hits they were giving each other.
Yeah,
Man, woo.
those are my favorite type of matches.
Hey, if I see, it's a good thing I'm just a fan. Rob here, he's a referee, so he'll probably have to deal with that.
Hmm.
I leave that to him. But man, I would, if I ever had to face those guys, if I was a wrestler, I would definitely have some icy hot or something, a large amount of it too.
Hmm.
Maybe some heating pads or something, because man, those hit, and whether you win or lose, you feel it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won, and I'm gonna go soak my back in something now because
Yeah.
yeah, tomorrow's is gonna hurt. But yeah, that's I honestly hope you get to like honestly hope you get to face all those matches, and I hope that you actually get to travel to Rev Pro, and because I always like to see like people like just do wrestling, and then it takes them like not just to different towns within the US of A, but to like just um other cities all over the world. It's always a great thing to travel and do what you love and so on.
Right.
As well. So my last question before I turn over to Rob. So when you're getting ready for a match, or when you're in the gym getting ready to knock out some reps or do some cardio, what are some songs that you like to listen to get you in that zone, to get you in that mode, to knock out that workout, or to get you, or to get you into that mindset to face your opponent?
Um, well, when you said earlier that you used to listen to rock music, or you still listen to rock music, I too listen to rock music. Really, my favorite genre of rock music is metal or metalcore. So I really enjoy just like those type of music. So I'll listen to anything that's Bring Me the Horizon. I really like Hollow Front. Uh, Jeez. I'm not like I just listen to stuff. One like if you ever listen to, I'm moving away from it now. I might use it in some places, but my theme music is Chiodos, and it's Caves by Chiodos, and like their stuff is it's older, early 2000s music, but it's one of my they're like I enjoy all their music, their sound, and just everything about them. So if it's like metalcore music, I'll listen to it, and like it helps me, but like I don't have to listen to that type. Like I can listen to, I maybe not Sinatra because that's not going to do anything for me. But but I can listen to. I've listened to R&B in the gym before and was able to like max out the reps because it's everything's mental. So if you sit there and just worry about something, like oh I need I have this like you need something like in a way like I feel like you need something to push you, and like I don't believe in needing anything to like help me out. Like I just can do it on my own. So like it's just there to just take out all the noise from everybody else grunting and yelling and stuff. So that's what I'm usually listening to.
Yeah, although I do listen to rock, my playlist, and I'd probably get kicked out of a gym if I was ever in charge of the sound system workout playlist. So I listen to like Broken Down, one of my all-time favorite tracks that I always have to have on my playlist, Broken Down by Seven Dust. I
Okay.
have that. But then sometimes I might go over and listen to some like Limp Bizkit, which I know apparently for some reason everybody doesn't. I don't know why people don't like Fred Durst, but
Mm.
Limp Bizkit, I gotta have rolling. And then I might go over here and listen to some Hollywood Undead, which is
Of
another
course.
favorite of mine. People don't judge me. I know I got issues. And then I might get some Cottonmouth Kings, and then
Okay.
here's some Carly Rae Jepsen out of nowhere, and then you might hear some wrestling theme song as well. So it's like they're probably like, nah, you gotta go, man. You switching too much, man. You gotta go somewhere, go work out outside. But
That's
yeah,
good. That's good music though.
whatever moves you, right? I mean,
Of
whatever
course.
gets you. I mean. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Rob. Kind of Rob asked some questions. So Rob,
Cool.
go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, man? How's everything going today?
Not
I
much,
know it's
not
your day
much.
off and stuff, man. They do anything exciting?
No, I have two jobs. So like I work my other job today, this morning, and then
Mm.
like I'm also moving. So like I'm trying to find some look at places as well, but mainly just rest and just relaxing.
I feel you on that, man. Today, yeah, man, I was like literally sick like all weekend, man. I missed WrestleMania on
Oh,
Sunday. I
geez.
missed Raw. I literally like before the podcast, 5 minutes before the podcast, I finally got something, full meal in my belly since Saturday. Full, so if I look like
Right.
stir fry garbage and all, forgive me and all that stuff and all, because man, oh, it was a rough couple days, and I was like, woo. But I had to come on, do the show, man. So,
I respect that.
so man, you were talking about when I was doing some research and stuff. I found out you do medieval times and stuff, man. I was like, yo, this is all I'm gonna watch right now, man. The medieval times stuff, and I think this might be the bulk of my questions about medieval times, man. Yeah, man, I've never been there. That's something I so much want to do because I went to Arundel Mills in Maryland one time with some friends.
Okay.
And I think it was my buddy's birthday. They had a big Bass Pro Shop there and all, and we're going. I'm like, medieval times is here or whatever. Like what? And I'm like, yeah, let's try to go there. The little, that little nieces with me and stuff. Like, yeah, well, we'll go up there and stuff. And it was like, oh no, we ain't gonna be here that long. You ended up being there forever. But we're sitting
Yeah.
there and the king was rolling in, man. It was like awesome, man, because they
Yeah.
all stood there. The king's just marching in, got all them people. I was like, yeah, we need to eat here and stuff, man. We need to
Yeah.
go here. It was awesome, man. Like, so how did you get involved in that, man? That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
so my one day, like when I moved down here, like I had no like nothing planned out. The only thing is I knew I was wrestling. I had no place to stay, no job, no nothing. So I was like, all right, cool. I need a job. So first day I get there, I'm talking to our head like fitness trainer at 3D. It's DDA now, Devon Dudley Academy, but back then it was 3D. Um, Dan Carr, and he was educating me about how his grandson worked there and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went and I just did an application, filled that out, and the rest is history because it used to be literally like if a minute from like the school. So like I would, work out and then like, all right, hey guys, I gotta go to work and just leave and like I don't have to rush or anything crazy. So I can get everything I need to get done before I go. So that's really the only reason why I even we got there. And then like it's actually a decent job. It pays really well. So I'm like, all right, I'll just stay. So that's where I've been for like the past 5 years now in June. So yeah.
Now, did you know how to ride a horse before you get learn there and stuff? You that on the job training right there.
On the job training. I've
Nice.
never, except for, that preschool picture you take on a horse, I've never been on a horse in my life. So they'll sit you on a horse, they'll train you how to ride a horse, they train you how to fight, everything like that. Like I learned everything there. So, it was an interesting job experience that I decided to do.
Yeah, man, because I was seeing you, man, wielding those axes and those swords and those hammers, like, oh, and those shields. I'm like, all right. Now, I got to ask, back in the day, a thing that kind of scared me from going there is the cable guy.
Hmm.
Because they went to medieval times, and then they got volunteered where, yeah, just come on out there. And I've always been like, no, I am not going to be the guy that gets picked out of the crowd to go out there and fight some crazy Jim Carrey person who thinks it's all real, trying to really hurt. I'm like, nah. So, have you had any situations like that? The people come out there, do some crazy stuff, and like,
No, we don't allow the nobles to come down during the show or anything like that. We used to do a meet and greet after the show, but COVID, we stopped doing the meet and greet. The wildest thing that I've had was one day I'm throwing out flowers, for the guests, and if like so we're throwing these flowers and they're carnations, and carnations, if it depends, because sometimes they have weight to them, sometimes they don't have any weight to them at all. So I'm sitting there trying to throw it to this one group of people, and like it's just missing. Like this is a table with them, and this is a table there, and it's like literally falling like there every single time. So I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to give it to another group of people as well, because I try to evenly distribute it within people, and like I try to get to the people up top before I get to the people down bottom, and it's just not going. So I'm like, okay, cool. And like as I'm like riding off, I see something yellow coming towards me, and I'm thinking somebody's throwing a flower, because when we first came back, people used to throw flowers back at us after we threw it to them. And then lo and behold, it's a piece of corn and it like hits my horse. And I'm just like, are we serious? Like over a flower. Like it's 10 cents. Like it's not that serious. It's gonna die in 2 days, like so. That's the wildest situation I've had as far as like a guess. Um and I've even asked the question. So if somebody decides to run down to like get in the sand, what can we do? Because like I'm like, because of my background in wrestling, I'm like, I just want to know. Like if I need to tackle somebody, I can tackle somebody. But we haven't had that in the past. Again, 5 years that I've been there, so people are good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, even if you are crazy or whatever, want to run down the sand, man, you all got the battle axes and the shields and stuff. Like, yeah, you gonna come down there with your fist and you're gonna do something like that? Like,
No,
no, man, you have no chance.
of course.
Yeah. It's like those videos I watch on YouTube, like where people on the street that think they can fight going to like Muay Thai gyms or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu gyms. Like, man, I'm best street fighter in the I'll knock anyone out. And then they go in there, here you can fight our 16-year-old trainee. What I mean, and he showed the dude he ain't got no footwork. Can't throw a punch or whatever. Get tore. I was like, we get
Yep.
home. Yeah, it's like one that. Oh yeah. Now you said you got down there to Florida. You start training with Devon Dudley, man. Like,
Mhm.
what was it like? Meeting Devon, learning under him, man, and like just some wisdom he imparted on you, man. Is there anything cool you can share?
Well, actually, when I first got down there, he was a producer with Raw, and he was mainly on the road all the time. So like, I want to say I didn't meet Devon until like year 3, because he was on the road so much. My main trainer that really taught me everything was Serpentico, that is on AEW. He's my main trainer, but then at the time we also were getting trained by Billy Gunn. So those they never really shared too much that I can remember. But I learned like a wealth of knowledge. But like Devon did help me with like some things. It was just like fine tuning. But mainly I learned a lot of stuff from Serpentico, Billy Gunn, and I think he was Rios Badu, but Jay Rios. I'm trying to think of what his. I think it's Sir Rios de la Sagrenja now. I'm not completely sure what it is, but he used to be the Crash champion for like during pandemic. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, so training over there and stuff. Have you where's the farthest you traveled and stuff, man? Have you been all over? Have you been to like California, wrestling yet, or is there somewhere you'd like to go?
Yeah, I haven't been to California yet. I've been reaching out to certain places. I reached out to Vinny Marcellus just what's Thursday or Friday, because I'm like, hey, I want to get to like the West Coast, where some places that I should reach out to. And I know, he helps out with West Coast Pro a lot. And so like I just asked him like for some, guidance for where to go. But the farthest I've been so far is Ohio. I did a weekend where I was at Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. So I did that. That's the farthest north I've gotten, and the furthest south is Fort Myers, Florida. But in my first year, I think I did 8 states. I think I did 8 states in my first year, 8 or 7. But like I'm trying to get as far west as I can. I just like to travel. So like one thing is the conquest. Like it's a conquest is a journey. So like I always want to conquest anywhere, and just this wrestling is a journey, and like I just enjoy it so much. Like one of my favorites as far as just wrestling and what they do is Shug Dunkerton. Because he's a journeyman, and I enjoy traveling, and like I want to have almost that same type of wrestling career. It's just journeying and like learning and going different places, because I just enjoy different cultures and learning about different cultures, and like that's something I really want to do, is just traveling and just learning, you know and just taking every opportunity that's given to me or that I take. So that's just something I really want to do.
Yeah, I like doing that too, man. Travel, yeah, learn about different cultures. What people do here versus here, there, and all that stuff. I like learning about that and seeing stuff. I think that stuff's cool too.
Hmm.
So yeah, speaking of that, man, traveling around for wrestling and stuff, and oh man, do you have any funny travel stories that have happened? Like I know you're down south and stuff, so maybe if you came across Bigfoot or something, like going up north and stuff, man, they might have some crazy wild animals and some woods up there, man. In
Yeah.
Ohio and stuff, man.
Uh, I really can't say I can't even remember if I've had any crazy stories, because really I'm one of those people, like, because of my job and how much I work, I literally will like go up to a show and I'll come right back down. Like I've literally done, so like I'll, for one job I'll literally work, I work from like 5 in the morning till 10:30. I did my other job, came home for like a 2 hour nap, drove up 9 hours to Tennessee or Atlanta. As soon as the show's over with, drive straight back and then go into work. Like I've done a couple 24 hours to days. Like one time I did a 48er.
Mm.
Way too much caffeine that day. I don't think it really works. So I'm trying to figure out like what works for me so I can like stay away from certain stuff and use certain stuff. But yeah, like it's part of the grind. I remember like really early into this, like I've seen tweets like you have to understand when you first start out, it's a grind until you finally get to where you need to go. So like I'm, keeping my nose to the ground and just grinding until like I get where I want to get. Like my main goal right now really is just to get enough money to where like they pay for my whole travel. So if I can break even, that's fine, but if that's just my biggest goal right now, is just to be able to break even. Once I, everything else that'll come, but I just want to break even. I want enough money to be like, all right, I can pay for my flight just off of, what I'm doing, So that's where I'm at. Like that's my goal. But right now I just enjoy the grind and getting to where I need to go.
Oh yeah. I understand the grind, man. Yeah, I'll do shows for like 1CW. I've been ringing out in the past couple shows and stuff. Yeah, people will come all the way from New York. They'll drive, Maine or whatever, and it's like, they get their match done. And it's like, get dressed and stuff. It's like, all right, what I mean, I'm heading back home. So it's like, yeah, it's the life of the wrestler, man.
Yeah,
That's what y'all do. So what,
yeah.
wrestlers do and stuff. I'm like, all right.
I've actually done because you said 1CW. I've actually done EWA in Maryland because I know a lot of the EWA guys, they wrestle for 1CW. So I'm like, oh, okay, and I've done that trip. I drove that trip up, drove it down, but like I took a couple of days, went to see family and stuff like that. So that one I did not rush through. So yeah.
I know this month I might be able to take my first like out of state trip in Virginia. It's Eastern Shore Pro, I think. But
Okay,
I got
okay.
yeah, I gotta get up with the athletic commission in Virginia first. Before I do anything, I got to get it done by like the 23rd or something. I was like, yeah, so I'm gonna get the paperwork and all filled out for that. But yeah, I'm kind of excited, man. I think it's down in Chincoteague or whatever. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
yeah, kind of
Chincoteague,
first
yeah.
one.
That's one thing I'm trying to do is like I want to wrestle in Virginia because I'm from Virginia. So a lot of people want, like, oh hey, if you're in Virginia, let me know. But like I'm reaching out to promoters, reaching out. I'm getting that, hey, we're trying to find a spot for you. Hey, we're trying to find a spot for you. But it's just like, all right, I get it, but bring me in, please, because I have a place to stay, and I'll probably bring in a lot of people. Like I'll draw, so. But I do also understand like Virginia's hard because just everything going on, commission, licensing, insurance. So I get it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta run through hoops, do all that stuff, man. It's like, ah, man, like yeah, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, man. It's like, geez.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, Virginia, man. Today, I swear it's been like Virginia Day, man. Like today was like the actual day I could get up, get motivated, and do stuff, man. Like I put on Spotify. I'm just trying to, get my house cleaned up, wash everything, and all of a sudden, I hear clips on there. I'm from Virginia, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Yeah, we got Virginia on here and stuff, man. Yep, yes, this is gonna be a good day, good day. I'm always there for that. Plus, Virginia's awesome, man. That's I can just drive right down to 13, get right on over the state line. But can I get some fireworks? All right,
Hmm.
head back home, man. They got this one gas station there, man. They sell some like crazy stuff, man. It's like you light it and it's like, oh man, yeah. I can't go there because I'll just spend all my money. You know what I mean? Just like
Right.
explosive. People are like, this ain't for personal use. You trying to do it? Like, I swear, I live in the country and I'm gonna let it off tonight. You can come watch.
Right.
Now, doing all that, medieval times and stuff, man. Are you a fan of Game of Thrones? Have you watched that?
I've seen episodes just from my old roommate. Other than that, I've never watched it. And like when I watched, it was that one episode where like the King or the White King had finally came and like they had their battle. Like that's the only thing I've seen. Other than that, like I've never
Oh,
watched
okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, so you saw like the last season part and stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that was the last season universally, like,
I heard that
yeah,
it was the pits. So,
yeah, yeah.
I completely understand.
That show is pretty good, man. Like, if you ever get like time or whatever to, check some stuff out, yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, it's got medieval fighting, dragons, boobs, all that stuff. Full frontal nudity, dudes hang dongs, whatever, whatever you want. They got everything in there. Like, all right, so that show is wild.
Yeah, I've heard.
Now, speaking of that, man, are there any new movies and TV shows you're into, or you've been catching? Because I'm always trying to find new stuff to watch. 'Cause, I'll get stuck in that same routine, comfort shows.
Right. Really, I'm not a TV person. Out like it's going to be a recurring thing. My job, I work a lot, so but I will always give it up to BoJack Horseman. If you ever watched that, if you never watched that, watch it. It's a fantastic show. Everybody that when I finally tell them and they finally get on to watching it, they're like, "Oh, this is great." BoJack Horseman is amazing. Um, Sex Education is on Netflix as well. That one's good. It's from the United Kingdom. Great show. Yes, it's about adolescence and like growing up and puberty and stuff like that. But it's really cool. I enjoyed it. Um, it's better than Big Mouth. Big Mouth is cool, but it's a little weird. but really, that's it. Like I don't. I'm mainly watching wrestling, and if I'm not watching wrestling, I'm watching like guys play NCAA 14 on YouTube. So that's literally all I
Man,
do.
man, I do the same thing, man. I'll get into the Dynasty League. What's my one guy, man? He'll make up like right now he's got the Moon Knight Raiders or whatever he's doing it. I can't.
I
So
haven't
I
heard
forget
that
his
one.
name.
Hmm.
Yeah, he does like a bunch of them. Yeah, it's like, oh man, I love this stuff because I had the same game too for my 360. And yeah, I still
Hmm.
play it to this day. Sometimes I'll get into it and like, yeah, oh yeah, I just love that game so much.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
I even got the Madden for it, so when I save the rosters, I can just load it over to my next Madden. And I
Exactly.
got everybody good, and I'm good to go. Bam, Woo.
Yeah, I did that too. I think for the last one, I did that exact same thing. And I was playing the Madden. I'm like, this is awful. I don't even want to play the Madden. So, like I just want
Yeah,
to play the NCAA. So yeah, I completely
I
understand that.
yeah, I always do that. I always go to like the cheapest, the crappiest school with like the lowest stats or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm building them up, and then once I get them to a contender, I'm like, I'm gonna pick the next one that's cheap or whatever, and I'm gonna build them up. That's all I do. Just, woo, 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 just oh
Hmm.
man, it's great. It's great. Oh man, I can't believe you watch that stuff too, man. I don't feel so alone, man. I'm like you're probably not the only person that watches this stuff. Anybody else do
Nah.
this? Yeah, but this stuff's great, man. I get entertained with that too, man. But yeah, man. Before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and chat with us, man. I definitely had a blast. I wish you nothing but the best for your wrestling future and stuff. I hope you get to travel, man. I hope you get reach your goals where it's like, we got you traveling here, man. Just come do your thing and all that stuff, all that stuff, man. I hope you win belts everywhere you go. I hope you blow up in the medieval night things, and one day, man, I can go there and see you king one day, man. So hopefully, man,
Appreciate it.
that'd be awesome, man.
Thank you so much.
Sir Merrick, once again, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to, be a guest on our show and talk about wrestling and all that good stuff. Um, like Rob said, we really and truly hope that, you end up meeting all your goals and, hope to see you one day. Well, Sir Merrick is going on a tour of England or Europe. We might see you in WXW or Rev Pro, or, we
Hmm.
might see you in Japan. I definitely like to see people. I know professional wrestling. It's let's be honest, it's a hustle. It's not
Yeah.
easy, and it's not guaranteed that you'll get a fat contract from WWE or AEW. But you know, it's the grind that keeps you there, and the passion that keeps you there. And I always like to see people like work hard. Like I said, that's something we like to see. People work hard and get rewarded. And we've been so happy to see several people, AQA, Roxy, Danny Limelight, just several of our past guests finally be able to get that opportunity to shine on a bigger stage. And we hope this the that same goal happens for you as well too.
Thank you, thank you.
But yeah, no problem, no problem. But with that being said, before we close the show, where can fans find you on social media? When they want to find out when your next appearance is, purchase Sir Merrik merchandise and Sir Merrik Donovan merchandise, that is. And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book um, the Green Knight? For some reason, I get I don't know if anybody's said that, but the Green Knights, you know,
Some I've gotten a green light a couple of times.
oh, it's so bad now.
Oh, you're
But
good.
yeah,
You're good.
where can bookers and promoters, how can they book you when they want to book you for their shows and whatnot? So ladies can see Night Bay.
Oh,
At,
jeez.
hey, did you come up with that, or somebody gave you that name?
Oh, I came up with it. I was thinking about Salt Bay. I was like,
Oh,
you know what? I'm Night Bay. I'm just gonna make it that way. So I thought
that's
it'd be
that's
easy.
that's hey, we all got our nicknames, man. I mean, come on. I'm calling myself the worldwide star boy, and Rob is Delaware's greatest American hero. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we got yeah, you got to we all got a name for ourselves, man.
Of
So
course, of course.
yeah,
But
man.
yeah,
But yeah, go ahead.
if you wanna find me, Instagram and Twitter and also TikTok, where Night Bay came to be a thing. It's SK Merrik Donovan, SKMerrikDonovan. There's no C. Siri hates me. Always put C's in my names. There's no C. Don't see me. And Facebook, Facebook, it's Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. You can find me on there. Um, and then if you want to book me, it's merrickdonovan@gmail.com. But again, if you follow me on any of my social media, I have a Linktree page, and you can just find all my information on the Linktree page. My merchandise is also on brainbustertees.com, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan. So, and again, like if you find like my Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, it's all on my link tree, and you can just find everything you want. YouTube, you're looking for me on YouTube, Merrik Donovan. There's a whole catalog of stuff on there as well. So yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. Merrik Donovan, no C, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan, SK Merrik Donovan. It's all the same.
Awesome. So y'all definitely heard this man is on social media. He has merchandise. Make sure y'all follow him. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, but if you
Oh,
part of the
jeez.
black community, make sure you follow this man too, man. I'm gonna say for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of cancel culture. I'm gonna say one of the few things. I'm gonna say this is gonna be one of the few times I'm gonna say something, not be afraid of cancel culture. If you part of the black community, make sure you follow this brother. He's doing something different. He's not out here, he's not trying to be a rapper. He's not trying to be angry. Nah, he's a knight, a medieval knight. So why wouldn't you want to follow somebody that's different? I'm following him, so follow him too. So make sure
Thank you.
you give him a follow. If he shows up in your area, make sure you attend the shows, that he's at. Support indie wrestling, man. That's what I say, man. That's where 99, 98% of your AEW and WWE superstars come from. So why not support them when they're on the grind? That way, when they make it there, you'll be like, yeah, I got this shirt from before they got signed. Oh, where can I get that now? You can't get it. It's the exclusive right here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hope they re-release it sometime. But I got one of the few ones. So it's always a great feeling to support somebody before they make it big time. So support indie wrestling. If you don't, Matt, normally I would say if you don't support indie wrestling, um, we gonna let Rob come to your house and eat all your food. And when you open your pot, you're gonna see a skipper open your pot. That means you gotta skip that meal because Rob done got into your fridge already. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't support indie wrestling, we're gonna have our other host, Kathy, who couldn't be here, give you that same slap that Merrik Donovan, that Sir Merrik gave Freddie Hudson, the one back guy that make you spin around and whatnot. She won't give you one of those if you don't support indie wrestling. So support indie wrestling.
Thank you.
It's a great thing. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy and my stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but who knows? Sometimes sometimes I live on the edge. But before I indulge in those activities, Rob Bass, my brother from another mother, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Tommy to my Ghost, and the Bubba Ray to my Devon. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out when your next appearance is, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Rob underscore base 82, and then uh, Facebook, YouTube, Rob Base. And 1CW, I'll be ring announcing, I think, or refing April 23rd, House in Delaware, 1CW, CCW. I'm not sure all the matches going on yet. TVA, I'll let you all know. And you can also check us out on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You can catch us, the guys and gals of 1CW, CCW out there tearing it up every day, every morning. And then it's on was it on demand right after it's over. You go right back on demand or whatever, replay it, watch it and all. Yeah, it's every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. And then if you ain't got time to watch it or whatever, you're in California, you're not local or anything, yeah, DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, and yeah, check us on out.
Awesome. I got to make one of them shows one of these days. But with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say, but who knows, maybe you get lucky and hear me say something cool or interesting. You can find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Instagram. Yes, I have an Instagram now at the Remy Blue as well. I haven't put anything on it yet. I'm still working on that. But our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We also have a YouTube channel where we actually post most of our content. We have a lot of cool interviews like this one, like our interview with Stacey Alexander, Eli Perez, many people from Florida, many people from Georgia, many people from all over the world. So definitely go ahead on YouTube, give us a follow. Once you go on YouTube, here's the instruction. Once you go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. You'll see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it. Make sure you subscribe to all our videos because you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, I always forget this. We also have a Facebook group and we also have a Teespring store. That's right. We actually sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have long sleeve shirts, we have tank tops to show your muscles for the summer. We also have coffee mugs for your favorite beverage. Go ahead, check out our store on Teespring, purchase some merchandise. All proceeds from those sales go back into keeping this show afloat. It does not go back into our pockets. I'm still eating hamburger helper, and Rob's still eating Kool-Aid sandwiches. So please, we're not getting anything out of this. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. Thank you very much to those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on via our platforms. Thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we just go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. But with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we are very well aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for medieval made, snake man trained, Sir Knight Merrik Donovan.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we will be back tomorrow with another impressive guest. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.